start speaking? Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening. I'll have everybody take their seats. Good evening. This is the regular board meeting. Today is Thursday, January 23rd. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise, and we'll have Director Kelly do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Metro Cable announcement. The open session meeting is videotaped for Cablecast on Metro Cable 14, replayed on Sunday, January 26th at 4 p.m. and Monday, January 27th at 6 p.m. on Channel 14. Webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. The open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district's website at www.metrofire.ca.gov. I wanted to make an announcement that closed session item 1A will be removed from the closed session. This is now the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district's jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. It sounds like we have one speaker. Ms. Rude, I'll have you come to the podium. Welcome.
Hello. I'm super nervous.
Me too.
Bye.
Very quickly, I'm a new homeowner in Cavallo Ranch. Try not to cry. I was woken up by my smoke detectors, which were going off. Run downstairs, my kitchen is literally raining in there. It was literally raining. Of course, I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to turn the alarm off. I'm an individual homeowner. So I called the fire department. The group of responders that showed up to my home really saved the day. And I could have had far more damage than I do. And I totally appreciate everything that they did. I wish I could address them by name, but there were 3. And they totally reassured me that everything was fine. And basically, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I appreciate everything that they did. And I couldn't ask for a great group of Sacramento Metro Fire Department team members or responders to my home. Oh, I did pick up something for them. Hopefully they'll enjoy some kettle corn on game day. I hope that this can get over to the guys and they'll share. So anyway, and again, That's it. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you so much. We'll make sure that we find out the crew and deliver that to them.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Can I just do this?
Thank you for.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for coming in.
That was incredible.
Yeah, no,
All right. Moving on, we have a couple items on the consent item. Any questions, concerns with the consent item?
I'd like to move the consent agenda, Madam Chair.
I'll second it.
Great. We have a first and a second. Can you please call the roll?
Director Gould,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Sailors,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Barnes,
Aye.
and Sheets.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Moving on to the reports, President's report. The Executive Committee met tonight. There were no changes made to the committee appointees. However, if there are any changes that would like our board members, if you would like to make any changes, please reach out to me. Moving on, Fire Chief's report. Chief?
Good evening, board members, and welcome to 2020, our first meeting. I have quite the list of stuff, so hold on here. First, I'd like to congratulate all the members that were selected for Member of the Year, peer recognition and commendations, and company commendations for 2019. We, over the last 2 months, had the awards committee and nominations came in. They were reviewed, and a number of folks were just notified of their awards and the people that were in there. The awards will be presented at our annual gala, and it's on February 20th. And so you should be getting an invite for that. That's coming up. December was a very busy month for retirements. We had 312 years of experience leave in the last month of, or the last week of December during that time. Everything from firefighters to engineers to captains to fire inspectors to logistics technicians and facility assistants. So firefighter Matt Randazzo, 25 years. Firefighter Paul Isaacson with 26 years. Engineer Craig Van Chance with 28 years. Engineer Anthony Fink, 29 years. Firefighter Dave Farrell with 28 years. Captain John Shashkenbach with 27 years. Fire Inspector Tracy O'Cease, 28 years. Facility Assistant Jamie Bedell, 21 years. Logistics Technician Gary LaSalle, 26 years. Captain Brian Evers, 28 years. Mark DeSoto, engineer, 28 years. And James Merzinski, 18 years. It is incredible. They had an event at Station 65. 3 of them had worked together and left there, and then 2 more folks came, and it was just a great attendance of folks being there and being with them. Some of the folks, like Gary, is a logistic tech, and it says he's been here for 26 years, but Brian and I talked. He's been around for 47 years and has taken pictures during that time. And so his one request was that if he could continue to take pictures. So we've made him our official photographer for moving forward. And, none of them quit as they got closer to retirement. Brian Evers, as you remember, really orchestrated everything that we did the night we had the burn over at the Denny's, exactly, and stuff. So congratulations to each and every one of those individuals for their time, dedication, service to Metro Fire, and for a lot of them, the agencies even before that. We hired 2 new lateral firefighter paramedics, Matthew Christensen and Calvin LaCurl. Both of them are local folks, and they both started on the 6th. We had some reassignments in the EMS staff. A reassignment that went into effect on January 1st. Assistant Chief Tyler Wagaman was assigned to the dispatch center to serve as the Chief Executive Director, and you'll hear some more on Chief Shannon's report as far as moving forward in his contract, but he has hit the ground over there running. Battalion Chief Chris Green was selected to be the B shift out-of-class shift commander for right now until we get everything kind of sorted out. And so Chris Green is filling in on B shift. We did a fire station dedication on January 6th. A few of you were able to attend for Fire Captain John DeGraff. John was hired originally with Fair Oaks on November 1st of 1977 at the age of 23. Had a very long and a very strong career, and it was neat to hear the stories from a lot of retirees that were there. And then this was our third station dedication, but it was the first time his son asked to speak and got up and spoke about the impact that it had on his three sons in the station and growing up with his dad. And then they talked about back in the day he built a Jeopardy board based about the fire service and what an impact that had on a lot of people. So just a great attendance for the station dedication. We had on January 13th and 14th, Underwriters Laboratories and the IFF, along with Metro Fire, we put on a 2-day program called Safety Challenges of the Future Built Environment. We had about 100 attendees that attended the event. It covered just a number of areas on flammable refrigerants, safety research, smoke alarms, new construction with wood buildings that are over 20 stories tall, a lot of stuff on batteries, storage battery systems. We had people from Tesla and a number of battery systems and the building construction that was there that were either presenters or that attended the actual event. I saw Lisa, there's Lisa. Lisa and her staff from fire prevention did just a great job of coordinating along with the UL staff for attendees and checking people in. And along with that, a number of our staff was able to attend there where we would normally travel all over to be able to get those meetings. On February 19th, 20th, and 21st, we'll be again hosting a series of meetings. The first one is on February 19th. It's called Fiero, and it's all about protective equipment. We had capped it at 100, and we've already sold out 100 positions and maintained positions for ourselves. But that first one will be a 1-day program on our protective equipment, how to take care of it, how to select it, and then looking at new trends of what things are we doing to better protect ourselves from thermal insult, protect ourselves from cancer or some type of material being able to get through it. So it's pretty neat. It will be fire service and the industry folks together here presenting. We'll do it in this room, presenting on what's happening today and what's the next best stuff. And then the 2 days after are workshops that are on incident safety officer, which is how do you manage the field side of it. And the second half will be on health safety officer, which is how do we manage health, and as far as everything from hiring physicals, physical fitness, physicals, exams, pre-cancer testing, just a whole different areas on those things that'll be covered at the same time. We got news, or I shouldn't say we got news, the Sacramento Metropolitan Public Safety Foundation got news of a grant opportunity we had brought to you a few months ago, Milo and Moxie, which was our new program for safety, again, that Lisa and her group are rolling out. The Public Safety Foundation put in for a grant, and they received $11,525 from the county, which will definitely go forward towards buying additional supplies, books, things that we can do to go out and deliver to the community and to the schools. Lisa and I met earlier this week. We had to drive and spent some time talking, is that the response from the area schools has been phenomenal as far as wanting our involvement, wanting us back into the schools. There was a lot of discussion when we were going through, which was, do teachers want things just to come to them on the internet and they print them themselves or not, or books? And overwhelmingly it is, if you can print it and give it to us, and I'm not standing in line at the copy machine with my copies or books, and you can do those, we're all in. So very positive on that. A reminder, on Saturday, September 8th, is the Fill the Boot. And as always, it's at Greenback and Sunrise. We're supporting the Burn Institute. The Fill the Boot and the Chief's Challenge will be on that Saturday from 9 to 10 in your packet. I'm sure that you all would love to see your fire chief once again be successful as the top earner. So either I'll take cash from Matt, from you today, or from anybody else, or please go online and do that. Well, he's always the one that has given me cash, so I just wanted to make sure that wasn't forgotten. The last thing, and I'm not real sure, we're still trying to figure out how to do this, but we sat down in November and went through and did a strategic plan. And how do we take and keep the strategic plan current? How do we take the ideals and the information as far as what we called our elements in here? So for this one here, and as we try to figure this out as we go forward, I just looked at it and looked over the last month and said, what things have we done as an organization and how does it fit back into the strategic plan? So a couple of things that come up, probably about 4 or 5 of them here. One of our initiatives was about the people of Metro Fire and about the culture. This past week, we held focus groups across the district. There was 3 focus groups in which people could put their name in, and some folks were invited, and there was a survey that was done. They finished up the last of the focus groups today. That'll help us in development of the implementation of the Metro Way. Chief Bridge and his group in training last week on Tuesday and Wednesday did the PDP, which is the Professional Development Program. 4 sessions, very well attended. He may talk more about it, but it was all on tactics and strategy. On the health and wellness side of it, our health and wellness safety section went on a little trip to Scottsdale where they had the national meeting for the Safety Officers Association. They've also met just recently with a number of folks, and with cancer in the fire service, there's a number of folks that are coming out with programs on screening, MRIs, age of memberships, and so being able to engage with those folks and being able to say what's on the market, is it appropriate for the same screening of somebody that is 25 years old versus someone that is 45, and starting to work through those things. Administrative, fire dispatching, and the operational analysis of fire dispatching, we assigned Chief Wagaman over there to start working with us. On vehicles and equipment, which was under capital assets, the fleet group and Chief Shannon's group went back east and looked at 2 brand new tenders, and those will be arriving soon and they will be being deployed. We've had Jeff Fry and Chief Shannon have been very busy over the last, really after the first of the year, just looking at developments around the county and within Metro Fire, and working with a lot of the developers on being able to get a snapshot of where we're at today and what those opportunities are that are coming up. And the last thing on some communications is the first of the year, we just got a ton of records requests. That ends my report unless you have any questions.
Any questions? No? Thank you. Moving on to the operations report, Deputy Chief Bridge.
Good evening, directors. Eric Bridge, Deputy Chief Operations. Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome back. We did have a busy year last year in 2019, so we had some final numbers that came across. Last year, Metro was responsible for 97,366 calls, which EMS-wise, we ran of those 97,000, 67,400 of those were EMS-related calls. So that's leaving about 30,000 other calls that were mainly structure fires, public service type calls, good intent type calls. This year, we're off to a pretty good start as well. We're already at 11,000 calls this year, 11,000 calls since the last board meeting on December the 12th, but we are off to a pretty rapid start. We've had over 30 structure fires in the last 3 weeks. Our busiest engine to date so far, once again, is not a surprise, is engine 53, with 631 calls since that last board meeting. Yeah, it's very busy. And Medic 23 with 556. So, but to be fair and accurate with the rest of our companies that are doing a big lift out there, we have about 10 to 12 companies that typically are right there, so that could easily be in the number 1 slot. So we're averaging, anywhere from 15 to 22 calls in a 24-hour period. Many of these companies are outside the station for 15 to 17 hours out of 24 hours. So they're very busy. The call volume's not dropping, so we're finding different ways to help provide some relief for them. and we're looking at different staffing and deployment models. We're continuing to keep on that track, but there's definitely a need for some relief out there, but they're doing a fantastic job. Just so you know, the other ones, the main players that are in that top call volume are Engine and Medic 41, Engine Medic 24, Engine Medic 101, and Engine Medic 23, Engine Medic 103, Engine 103, and Medic 103 and 109. So those round out the tops. As Chief was alluding to at the PDP on getting back to the training side, so it's been good. Captain Malinowski in the training division has done a great job being the coordinator for a professional development program. One of the areas that we identified last year that when we put the feelers out there for our members is what can we do to improve that training delivery is to cross division boundaries. So this time we were able to cross division boundaries with CRD, and so with the support from Fire Marshal Barsdale, we had Amy. Thank you, Amy. I know you were battling a little bit of the bug like the rest of the world. And then Krishana Fields also came in to assist with helping us in that professional development program, which was 4 sessions over 2 days. And we were talking about target hazards in the district and about decision making and risk assessment. So these are all critical things that if you don't practice and talk about, you can find yourselves into one real quick and having to make a decision. So we practice as much as we can. With the help of CRD, thank you, we were able to identify a few buildings where we got to practice and do some of the exercises on. So that was successful, a lot of good feedback. Also, Chief Green over when he was with Special Operations, he's now assuming the role as B-Shift Commander, has oversight of that hazmat program, and really the program manager is Captain Daniel Hoy, who did a fantastic job with developing a newsletter. So it's kind of recapping some things, got some training aids in there, and I have a copy of one I can share with you later that we have, be happy to share. But I just wanted to make sure I took the moment to recognize those players that are responsible for continuing to put out a good product and improving our special operations program as well. So with that, that is the end of my report. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Local 522, I'd like to welcome Vice President McGoldrick. Welcome.
Good evening. Happy New Year, directors, chief. I don't want to be the guy that comes up and says like he said, but congratulations to all of our retirees. I wish them a very happy and healthy retirement. I want to also thank Trevor Jameson for his service to the membership, and I want to thank the board for the wonderful dedication at Station 32. Very well attended. It's impressive to see the impact that one individual can have on a community. And that's all I have for now. I'm looking forward to meeting with you in the near future. And that is all, unless you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to committee and delegate reports. I already reported out that the executive committee met tonight. Our next meeting has not been determined. Moving on to the Communications Center, JPA, Chief Shannon.
Good evening. Comm Center board meeting on the 14th. I have replaced Chief Wagman, as Chief Harms alluded to. I'll be sitting on the Comm Center board for the near future. With that, I'd like to welcome, as Chief Harms also said, welcome Chief Wagaman as the new executive director of the Comm Center board. You know, a little funny thing is we all know Chief Wagaman and what kind of workload that young man can take on, but he showed up his first day on Tuesday after a week of vacation, and of course I was in his office by 2 o'clock, me and Jeff Fry, putting more things on his plate. So told him welcome, enjoy, and so he's got a lot of work to move forward. At the last board meeting, we did approve, the board did approve Chief Wagaman's contract to become the executive director. And then lastly, I really want to thank retired Chief Mark Benavoya. As we know, he came out of retirement, brought him out of the bullpen, so to speak. Once that we needed an interim director, he stepped in and did a fantastic job. It was my first board meeting on the 14th, so I didn't get a great chance to work closely with Chief Benavoya, but I can tell you in public comments or in board comments at the end, nothing but praise for the job he did, really coming from retirement. So I just want to thank him publicly. He did a fantastic job. He really set Tyler up for success to move forward, and I hope he goes back to fishing or whatever he was doing in previous before we drug him out of retirement. So that's it. Next board meeting for us will be the 28th of January. If you have any questions.
Any questions? No? All right, also moving on, California Fire and,
May I?
yeah.
Chief Wagaman's contract, is that going to be a permanent position for him for the foreseeable future, or how's that going to be?
Right now, we're looking at a one-year position, so he'll finish out kind of we did it until the end of the year, correct, Brian? Fiscal year. And then we'll do the whole next year portion. Working with the other members of the JPA, what we would like to do is establish that longevity and the consistency in there, and we'll probably here at first do 6 months, then we'll do the 1 year, and then take a snapshot on where we're at and where we need to be for moving forward. We'll come back to you at the next board meeting with an update to our PAD, so that we will have his position, and we'll be able to refill a new position then for us, so that our staffing within our organization stays the same then.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, also California Fire and Rescue Training JPA.
Good, thank you. The CRFTA met on January 16th. Kind of gave us just a snapshot of what's going on in their training world, and obviously they continue to do exactly what Chief Harms and the sponsoring agency's chiefs, when we sat down with them, they are now provided, I think this year, their goal is to provide 129 training courses with about 1,875 students being taught. If we go back in a little bit of history, you go back to 16-17 fiscal year, I think we were down at about 20 classes and about 400 and some change students being trained. So as you see, they're doing what we're asking. They are putting the classes out. They are providing good training, diversified training to our member agencies. They're also providing that to our agencies surrounding our region. So we will be moving forward. They are excited to keep moving, and they have pretty much all the classes filled for the rest of the year. With that being said, as we know, the CESC next door, the disposition of the CESC, we've taken over that space. The JPA's lease is up in March 31st, so we are going to move on. We're not going to renew that lease. So the JPA will be moving on to a new home soon, and we will assist with that in any way we can. But that will be probably some new happenings for the JPA coming up in the next number of months. With that, that's the end of my report. If you have any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. All right, moving on, Finance and Audit Committee, Director Kelly.
Yes, the Finance and Audit Committee will meet on February 27th.
Moving on, Policy Committee, Director Gould.
No report.
Right, we'll move on to board member questions and comments. We will start with you, Director Gould.
You bet. Congratulations to all of those folks that retired. What a huge vacuum we now have to fill with 300 plus years of experience. Institutionally, that's a huge hit. And so I'm wondering at what point we can kind of get some of them to do this come back from fishing model that we've used in some cases. Clearly, we also, I think this is going to repeat itself in the next couple of years, and I hope that we are very aggressively looking at succession planning so that that institutional knowledge can in some ways be transferred to new and younger members of our organization. So kudos to all of them. As has been mentioned, we wish them the best, and thank you for their service in the community. Thank you.
Director Wood.
I want to say thanks and congratulations to the retirees and best to all of them. I want to thank Ms. Rude for coming in. I saw her posting on Nextdoor about her experience. It was a very positive posting with a lot of capital letters and happy face emojis and thumbs up emojis throughout it. I told her I would make sure that it got passed on to our operations division and asked if she would mind coming in, because we always, the bigger group of us here don't always hear the good experiences that people have, and she was more than happy to come in, and she wanted to make sure that that crew got her thank you. It was very important to her that it got passed on. Lastly, I just want to say thank you. My niece and nephew were involved in a accident yesterday. I just want to thank all the personnel that were on scene, the med staff at Davis, UC Davis and Kaiser South. Everyone was absolutely amazing. All the family members and the people involved that I spoke with were complimentary, and so I thank everyone that did that. On a personal level, I want to thank you, Chief Harms, Charlie Jenkins, Mike McGoldrick, Sean Condrit, Trevor Jameson, and my fellow directors who all reached out and offered their words of comfort and support and offers of help. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
All right, Director Clark.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Welcoming everybody, the board back, I also would like to congratulate Director Sheets on her ascendancy to the presidency this year. I want to welcome Captain Mike Goldrick to the Metro Fire family. I mean, at least with staff. I want to also congratulate the retirees. Godspeed on your retirement. And finally, I'd like to thank the crew from Station 110. Our Sacramento Central Labor Council has been doing a Christmas thing every year, like on December 18th is when we had it, and the guys provided the Santa sleigh, and the kids were very excited. And I'd like to especially thank Captain Goldrick, firefighter Dwayne Miller, and engineer Keith Donnell. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to start by thanking Chief Harms for the meeting that we were able to sit down and talk about. I'm always impressed with your leadership, and when you're willing to sit across from somebody and literally ask for constructive feedback, that speaks volumes of you. And listening to your vision of the agency moving forward, I know it's in good hands, so thank you for that. At this time of year, it's a special time, near and dear. In 2 days, we got the Pig Bowl Guns and Hoses. Anybody in the thousands in attendance, I would say. We got $10 tickets. For you, it's $20 a ticket. But we have the game starts at 11 a.m. at Sacramento State University. Game starts. The gates open at 11. We have a kids safety fair, and then kickoff is at noon. We will be honoring families of Tara O'Sullivan from Sac PD, Brian Ishmael from El Dorado, and Tammy Thatcher from Sac City Fire. So we do our best to make that special. Another little thing that we're doing is Make-A-Wish. We partnered with them, so we're going to be doing a wish reveal right at Coin Toss. A young man who's battling, doing much better, but has been many challenge for his life, is going to find a great that we're going to take care of there. I don't want to say it, and not that people are watching live or anything, but he's going to get a trip for him and his family. It's going to be very special. So we're looking forward to making his dream come true. It's neat for us to be able to partner and the fundraising efforts that go along with that. But I do want to thank Captain Vestal. I will tell you when I call, and he said something tonight it's so true, right? I can make a phone call from my day job and I get the, okay, thanks for calling. When I asked him to help out as what he could for media, it happened so fast. Our team on the Pig Bowl Guns and Hoses were not ready to respond. And matter of fact, it was a phone call that night. We had somebody out in the morning and we're like, do your best. We can't get there in time. So again, I can't thank you enough. Logistics and everything that you're doing. We're going to do a police escort and possible have a fire rig with them to bring them from the hotel to the game. So it's going to be very special with that. So I look forward to that. But most importantly, too, Chief, I thank you for your support and letting this continue this game. 46 years this game's been going on. It's the longest running game of its kind in the nation. 8 years behind the Super Bowl. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. For the fallen that we pay tribute to, I got a phone call on the way here from a fallen officer's family. It said, are we still welcome? And I said, your family come in, they get in free and we treat them right. And they said, this is the only time, one time a year, they feel part of the family. So it's great that we get to make it special. I don't want to run on this, but if you heard me on KFBK and McGinnis, apparently I got a flack because I predicted Fire to win this year. I've been to their practice. I've seen their players. Their coach is serious. I went to the law players and I wasn't impressed. And so I got people angry me on the law side, and I have people angry me on Fire side saying I jinxed them. So I don't know what it is, but in the end, the charities win. So we look forward to it. We look for a great day. I think the rain's going to hold off for the game, And I hope to see you there. I do have tickets, I have passes, and we'd love to see you all there. With that, I just say thank you to everybody that's helping make this happen this weekend.
That's awesome.
Thank you. All right, Director Sailors.
I'd just like to express my congratulations to all the retirees. Welcome to the 10-7 Club. Director Barnes, I might have to put a bet down on this game Saturday with you. All right. I'd also like to say congratulations, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to everyone out there. Stay safe, and let's keep doing what we always do. Thank you.
Director Kelly.
My congratulations to all the retirees. And I would like to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. I hope, and I certainly hope those retirees are enjoying their retirement as much as I am, because I'll tell you what, it's not overrated.
Rub it in.
All right. I'd like to thank everyone for this opportunity to serve as board president. I really look forward to this year and all the wonderful things that the organization is going to be able to accomplish. I am looking forward to attending the Metro Gala. I was privileged to be able to do it last year, and it was just a great event, attended well. Fill the boot. I'm hoping that it's not going to be as frigid cold as it was last year, at least for the gentlemen that sleep up in the bucket. But I look forward to that event as well. Also like to congratulate all the retirees, wish them the best of luck, and then congratulate Mr. McGoldrick and look forward to that new partnership. And with that, we are going to move into closed session. Just like all of the other board presidents, hopefully we don't see you guys out after.